I feel like I've been misled. Just about every broadhead manufacturer out there makes a crossbow variety and a regular variety. We'll call them regular varieties, right, for the vertical bow guys. My beloved Rage hypodermic crossbow broadhead. I've had so much fun with these things over the years, the 100 grainers. Then I upped them to 150s, used the tri-pan for a number of years, and then move on to Swacker, right? That's my broadhead journey, so to speak. Different strokes for different folks. I always use these because it says crossbow on it, right? And there were two reasons why we were told to do that, why we always believed to do that, why I thought we should do that. One is you're pulling the trigger on a crossbow, all that energy is released all at once, especially on our recurve crossbows, and you don't want that broadhead to open prematurely. The collar or whatever else was in the design supposedly was designed for crossbows to withstand that extra oomph. Contrast that with the regular variety, the compound bow, vertical bow variety. This one's all torn up because I had it opened. Broadheads on here aren't designed for that high speed, immediate, they're shooting slower out of lower poundage bows, and there's a let off with a compound bow, and so it doesn't really have that, you don't have to worry as much about it opening prematurely. So that was one reason. But there was another reason why I always used the crossbow variety instead of the regular variety, and that was because of the ferrule diameter. We crossbow hunters, our arrows are different, aren't they? In fact, some people even call them something else. They call them bolts or something. This is a spinal tap for the crossbow. Bunjie loves a spinal tap, that's for sure. Nice heavy insert, good heavy arrow. You can see the difference between this and the vertical bow arrow. This one's very skinny in comparison, much thinner. I don't know, I can measure it, but it is what it is. I don't know if it says on there. Print's too small. This is a Maxima red, nice long arrow. You can see it's considerably longer as well. This is one we found, the Friend of Bunjie Tim found when we were looking for Genevieve's boar at the third ever Death by Bunjie meet and greet. Thank you, Friend of Bunjie Tim. He shared this with me and I kept it for a prop, for a video just like this one. On a vertical bow arrow, you can see that the ferrule size matches the arrow, okay? They come in different diameters, I get that, but that ferrule size matches that quite nicely. But if you put them on a crossbow arrow, if you look, it doesn't quite fit that shaft, now does it? Do you see the little ledge that is created from the ferrule on down? So all of a sudden, you've got a lip around here where the insert is. At a minimum, it means that you've got an impact where that shelf is going to catch on things, cause arrow deflection, or worse yet, reduce penetration. Might break the ferrule. It turns out the ferrule diameter of this is the same as the ferrule diameter of this.
Right there is the Rage Crossbow Hypodermic, 100 grain. Here we have the Rage Hypodermic for the vertical bow guys. 0.01 difference. I don't think that's very much. I'm not sure there's any difference. In fact, I'm not even sure which one to put back in which package.
They're the same. The only difference is the little plastic piece. I'm kind of irritated about this. Maybe not for the reasons you're thinking. Now, do they charge you more for this? I honestly don't know. Do manufacturers charge you more for the crossbow variety? I don't know. And if they do, I would still probably use the crossbow variety, even if it's just the little plastic tabby that makes the difference. I'm kind of irritated because it appears to me as though the priority of the crossbow broadhead manufacturer, Rage, for example, really lies with the compound broadhead. And this is 2023. Crossbows more popular than ever before, only going to get more popular. Crossbows are taking over. Don't forget, that's how Crossbow Appreciation Month started, isn't it? If their loyalty is to these broadheads and they designed them for compound bows first and foremost, and then the crossbow's kind of an afterthought where, well, let's just make a different plastic tab to put on there. If that's what we're getting out of our broadheads, then I wouldn't use these broadheads. That's what it comes down to. This is a Swacker practice point, same size, dimensions, everything else as a Swacker regular full-fledged 150 grain number 251 3-inch cut that I use on the crossbows. If I screw it onto the compound bow arrow, you're going to see a little bit of a problem here, aren't you? You're going to see what I'm talking about. Notice how that ferrule is wider in diameter than the arrow itself. There's a little bit of a lip there, right? It's wider than the arrow. If the ferrule is wider than the shaft, then it's just creating a larger hole for the shaft to slide through. That's not so much of a problem. That might affect arrow integrity, right? You don't want things to be different. I'd rather have a nice smooth shaft. But it's certainly better to have a larger ferrule than the shaft, like that would be. However, if you put it on this crossbow arrow, notice how on the crossbow arrow, that's not the case. On the crossbow arrow, it is perfectly in line with the shaft. Is the compound bow variety of the 3-inch ferrule the same diameter as the crossbow variety? I want to know. And I'm not going to go buy a pack to find out. I already bought a pack of these, right? And I'll never use them. But why not use them? Because apparently they're the same as these. With Swahacker, that thing fits perfectly on my crossbow arrows, and that's what I insist on. I insist on one that is designed for me as a crossbow hunter. Other manufacturers may or may not do this. I don't know. I want you to weigh in the comments and tell me about the diameter differences. Tell me about your crossbow broadhead of choice. Does the barrel match up in diameter to the shaft? Or is it smaller than the shaft? I want to know. Let's make this a nice little database, right? Get all the comments going in here so we have lots of good information for people trying to answer this question on their own. Thanks for watching. And until next time, all hail Bunjie.